morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture to see how those incidents may or may not affect our daily lives. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture. This may affect our daily lives. I apologize for that because you know how I do. It's easier for me to come on here live than it is for me for me to then to do a little thing. But let me talk about what I want to talk about today. For those of you all that follow me for my Justin Baldoni and my Blake Lively information, I am going to do a weekly podcast on that. It'll probably be Thursday or Friday because there's a lot of information that has come up in the past couple of weeks that I do want to go over. But right now, if you have followed me, you have seen my video in regards to DJ Akademiks interviewing Kanye West. Okay. And so from that interview and from all kinds of different iterations, and we do see that Drake has put out a review of the Nokia video, and I think I've done one of those. I can't remember if it's members only or not. No, I think my chocolate dropper is members only, and it will become public in a day or two. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about just briefly today, from my perspective, is that DJ Akademiks claims that Kendrick Lamar has ruined hip hop. And so, what I want to do is to kind of review a little bit of another content creator's video. His name is Jay Nolan. He is pretty much an insider in the music business. He goes over different. He's been going over the court case, and he's been going over information and giving his opinion and twist. And all of this has kind of stemmed from DJ Akademiks' interview with Kanye West in the custom made black Klansman outfit in black. And again, however you feel about Kanye, my thing is that when he starts doing and acting just basically for his own edification and not the edification for anybody else around him, he doesn't seem to see that some of the things that he's doing is causing harm. And is causing a lot of different things. He doesn't seem to see, well, he gives me the impression, and this is just my opinion from Pam Entertainment TV, he gives me the impression like he just doesn't give a damn. If it's something that he can do in order to, if it's something that he can do in order just to shock value or anything like that, he'll do it. But anything that he'll do in regards to just, I don't even know how to say it. Someone said it earlier in regards to that when black people get wealth, it's the less amount of black folks they are around. And I do firmly believe that. When and I'm not even just talking about on a Kanye level. I'm even talking about black folks that get they've gone to school, whatever degree that they have, whatever associate's degree that they have, whatever skill that they have. The further way that they move away from black folks, the less care and concern they have for community. Now, again, these are my opinions. I'm just speaking from what I have seen. I'm not speaking for me. I have seen that. And Kanye West gives me that. But anyway, let's get back to DJ Akademiks claiming that Kendrick Lamar ruined hip hop. Now, this is what, in my opinion, that he is talking about how hip hop has been ruined. If you remember, Kendrick said that you make music to pacify them. I make music to electrify them. And so basically, if you look at the concept of hip hop in probably the past 17, 18 years, we have had an influx of mumble rappers rapping about just rapping. You can't really understand what they're saying, more so that they are talking about sex and money and items and materialistic type things. We've had that in rap. We've had the drill rappers that have come out, and they have the King Vons in them that have come out, and they have talked about all the murders and killings and the YN behavior. And I asked a question the other day, what age limit caps off YN? And the consensus, and shout out to y'all for answering my question, because it was legitimate. The consensus from what you all are telling me is anywhere from 23 to 25. Once you get 25 years old, then it's a problem. But the consensus of the YNs that are out here just rapping about murder, drugs, and money, and getting bitches, right? That's what hip hop has been. Now, if you understand who DJ Akademiks is, DJ Akademiks got his claim to fame by going over all of that Chicago drill music. And he's basically, he has entrenched himself in hip hop. But to me, he's a gossip blogger. And the reason why I say that when he was really big and all that Chirac stuff, he basically planted himself in there talking about all the debauchery, the prunings from the timeline that those people were doing, instigating different rap beefs and stuff like that, but not understanding, but not caring that those had real world consequences. Because again, when I talk about, now I will disclaim, I am Gen X. When I talk about rap beef, it's about you all going back and forth lyrically on the record, doing your double, your triple entendres, making me think about what you're saying, and you using similes, analogies, all of those different things, hyperbole, all of those different things to be able to express in a way how you're dissing your opponent. And that is what battle rap has been, a subgenre of hip hop. But that's all part of that. But DJ Akademiks comes from the world of gossip. He comes from the world of glorifying the seedy side of hip hop. He comes from all of that, and he also and so with Drake, because he loves himself some Drake. And I just learned that he doesn't even have a relationship with Drake. Drake doesn't talk to him or anything like that. So he is almost like a super fan, a Yolanda Saldivar of hip hop with Drake. And again, Drake, and hear me well. All those things, in my opinion, are different genres of hip hop. They don't make hip hop. They're genres of hip hop. There's hip hop out here that makes you want to dance, and that's cool. There's hip hop out here that makes you introspective, and that's cool. There's hip hop out here that doesn't talk about, nothing too serious or anything like that. And that's where I feel like Drake comes from. Drake comes from that part that's a machine. They do anything like R&B and pop music and country music. It's a machine. They start going through and figuring out which is going to be what they go through this formula about what's going to be something that they're going to do. And currently in hip hop, it's a cool beat. It is you rapping about materialistic things that you have. You rap about the bitches. You rap about the hoes. You rap about your ops. And if you put those, you have to have at least 2 of the 5 in there. And like I said, you have a good beat. You got a good DJ. You have the great formula of a good hip hop song. And Drake has been great with that. He has played this game forever. Cool. But for DJ Akademiks to say or make the statement that Kendrick has ruined hip hop because he has ignited that genre of hip hop that loves to be introspective, that loves to listen to the lyrics, to think about the lyrics having something to say other than bitches and hoes and materialistic things. That's not ruining hip hop. That's igniting a whole, opening up a whole plethora of people who love hip hop music. Now, again, I'm Gen Xer. So I grew up on the Lukes, Pop Your Coochie. I grew up on all the different. I grew up on KRS-One. I grew up on Fight the Power. I grew up on uh, uh, um, Curtis Blow. I grew up on the Sugar Hill Gang. I grew up on all of those genres. I grew up on Nas. I grew up on Jay-Z. I heard all of those different things. But there were so many different genres of music. I grew up on the NWAs. I grew up on the NC Hammers. And the one thing about rap music, it had so many different genres that you can enjoy. I grew up on when Southern hip hop came into the fruition with the Outcasts and the Goody Mobs of it all, the Nellies, the Kayas, the Montel Jordans, going into all of that, the Biggie and Tupac and Nas and Jay-Z, Foosh Nickens and all of them. I grew up on all of it. And the one thing about that rap, it was so many genres. There was so many genres. PM Dawn. There was so much going on, but nowadays it's about a formula. There's a certain formula that you got to have. And again, that works, but that also takes away from all these different people rapping. There were men and women rapping. See, I grew up with the Little Kims and the Foxy Browns and the Queen Latifahs and the Moni Loves of it all. There was so much here. That's the right word. There was so much variety. And when you had so much variety in hip hop, that made the genre, everybody gravitated to it. Now, when you've got industry, when you've got music machines coming through, you've got to do A plus B plus C plus D. And you got to be an artist, quote unquote. You've got, an artist from the hood, because we're going to play on, you get out here and you a whole YN and you are whole, you doing all kinds of stuff, possibly pruning people from the timeline, robbing and stealing and thieving folks like that. They take those people who have a certain level of ignorance about the music business. You can pay them pennies on the dollar, get insurance policies for them, because see, you already know that these people are going to be out here doing whatever it is that they're doing that's going to possibly get them pruned from the timeline, and you've made your money. You never have to play their music again, but you've made a couple of million, 3, 4, 5, 6 millions of dollars versus maybe you probably made 10 to 15 million dollars versus the 500,000 that you put out to them to be able to make this type of music. But let's get back to DJ Akademiks. So what I want to show you really quick, I'm not going to go through the whole video. We're going to go over Jay Loland's probably the first maybe 5 or 10, 15 minutes of his video to talk about DJ Akademiks saying that Kendrick Lamar ruined hip hop. Give me one moment to get everything set up. All right, we're going to listen to this real quick. And while I have you all in here, please like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate you.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid Jay Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and hope everybody's doing well out there this evening. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about the DJ that don't spin. We try not to.
All right, and make sure you all follow his thing. He is Jay Nolan. He is here on the YT. Make sure you all follow him. Let's go.
talk about him very much over here. Sometimes it's hard to avoid him, but for the most part, again, I try to stay away from him. What the hell? Since when was that over there? No wonder my shit been low. But we try not to talk about bro over here all that much. But he made the egregious statement recently stating that Kendrick Lamar killed hip hop, and he claims that he's spoken to various rappers in the industry that basically feel this way, and he says that now they're getting too over analytical, meaning I guess that people are dissecting the music a little bit further than they were before. But
right there. Now, I have heard that there are a lot of artists because of this whole Kendrick and Drake beef that happened. There are a lot of folks that are rethinking about putting their album out, because just think about it. You've been able to successfully put out a subpar, a mediocre album. And what I mean by that is you have used this formula over and over and over again, used features and stuff like that, and you haven't grown with your audience. Because you think about it. You think about if you all are out here and you follow hip hop, and let's say that you started hip hop in 2015. That's 5 years. Look at your favorite artists from 2015 to now. That's a 5-year jump. Are they still rapping about the same things? Are they still rapping about the same things? Is there any matureness? Are they growing with their audience? So let's say that you're 20 in 2015. You're 20, you're 25 now. Isn't it? Hold up, no, that's 10 years. 2015 to 2025, that's 10 years. Are you still thinking, is your mind still growing and thinking the same way? And here's the thing, the insidious thing about all of that, and this comes from, in my opinion, this comes from music executives and things like that. They have burrowed in your mind that hip hop music is only for young people. And they've burrowed that so deep so that every generation is that comes in behind thinks that their hip hop music is the be all to end all. What tickles me is that I hear some of these young people listening to music, and they have listened to hip hop folks in my generation or a generation behind me, and they think that that is the original music, and not understanding that they're listening to music in my mom's generation. They were the ones in the 60s and the 70s creating the music, where they're getting their samples from. But they have grown up listening to the samples and thinking that the samples is the original music. And now these young people are sampling the samples. This comes up with the Kendrick Lamar and SZA song, 30 for 30. There was an artist that came out, I think in the early 2000s or the mid 2000s, that sampled that Switch song. And they're thinking that that sample is the original song, and not understanding that that is a Bobby DeBarge and Switch song from back in the 70s. But anyway, let's let him continue.
Because of Kendrick and all of the layers to his music, and everything means something, and other artists that want to put out nonsensical types of songs, they're feeling pressure, I guess, under their releases. They're feeling fire under their feet and their ass.
And I've got a lot of you all in here. Thank you so much for watching, for whichever, if you're watching on X, if you're watching on Twitch, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, give me a heart, touch the wallet, I guess, in Twitch. Make sure y'all let me know that y'all are out here and that y'all are enjoying what you all are watching.
They may have to step up their game or be a little bit more intentional about their music. And the DJ that don't spin claims they're not all that happy about it. Now, Again, I don't know the specific rappers that this guy is talking to. I don't know who he's had conversations with that feel that way, because for the most part, people that actually rap well, they seem to be pretty excited. People that come from actual hip hop backgrounds, they seem to be pretty excited about where things are going now that the tide has kind of shifted. Now that the standards are changing, at least a little bit.
And I just went over that about talking about the different standards. Because when I was coming up in hip hop, the rule was if you were MC, if you were a lyricist, number one, you wrote your own raps. Nobody wrote those things for you. Now you had people that provided your beats, your DJs, they provided your beats. You had people that possibly provided the hook, particularly if you were trying to rap over a hook or a song. But the majority of the lyrics, the intention behind the lyrics, uh, the subject matter behind the lyrics, that was all you. I know that we have graduated into people having quote unquote ghostwriters and all those different things. But as I grew up, what made an MC, which made a lyricist, is that you had to write your own stuff. You had to contribute to the writing. And it had to be authentic to who you were. That's why there were so many genres of music. Because a Luke who loved to go to the strip clubs and see the girls pop their booties and spin around the pole was just as accepted as a KRS-One, who was a conscious rapper, who was just as accepted as a Heavy D and the boys, who loved to have fun and they wanted to have they like to dance off of the music and things like that and talk about that, which was like a Kid and Play that did pretty much the same thing, which was different from a Biggie, who expressed how he was rapping because he used to sell the illicit substances, versus a Tupac, who was a conscious rapper with ties to his from his mother and all those different things from the Black Panther, which was just different from the Fushnikins, a Jada Kiss, who all grew up around New York and New Jersey area, which was different from a Wu-Tang Clan, which was completely different if we go out west to a Too Short, to E40, a DJ Quick, MC Et. There was so much variety in music. But the one thing that all those different varieties, even coming down south with your Goody Mobs, your Kayas, your Queen Latifahs, up in New Jersey. I'm trying to think of the hip hop parade boys. I can't think of what their names are right now. But all of them, Salt and Peppers, the one thing that you had was there was so much variety. But within that variety, you believed them because of the authenticity. Today, you can't believe a lot of these people. These people talk about being out here in the streets, but their daddies are preachers and their mamas are educators and they grew up middle class, but they want to sit up here and try to explain to you that they out here in these streets like that. I just think that the authenticity of hip hop has waned. So then you have people who are products of an industry machine. Nothing different than a Whitney Houston and a Phyllis Hyman, because I might be going back way deep for a lot of y'all. Even a Mariah Carey, how their images were crafted by the industry, but that may or may not have been authentic to their real life. And I always talk about Whitney Houston. They had her as the girl next door when she was around the way girl. Loved to smoke and do drugs. But her image gave you the girl next door, shiny. Oh, I want to dance with somebody. That's an all image. And then we want to think that quote unquote Bobby Brown ruined her image. No, Game recognized Game. Both of them was from the hood. He was from the hood in Boston. She was from the hood in Newark, New Jersey. Game recognized Game. He didn't ruin her career. She didn't ruin his career. These were two people that were like-minded. They were authentic. Now, were they destructive? That's a whole different other story. You understand what I'm saying? It's a whole different other story. But they were there were images created, but however, those two got together, they were authentic to who they were. Let's continue.
Right? So I don't know who this guy spoke to or who gave him this information behind the scenes, but we're gonna go ahead and play it. I'm also gonna play a clip from Chillin' with Moni with her reaction to the statement from the DJ that don't spin, and then we're gonna get into some people talking about Kendrick's impact on hip hop.
So I do want to say this. He is going to be playing some stuff again. Go follow Jay Nolan. He's also going to be playing a clip from Chilling with Moni. Go follow her as well. Like I said, I'm telling you where this information is coming from, so that if you want to go into a deeper dive of where this information is coming from, go follow these creators. They do a really good job of pulling this information up
In a positive way. So I'm a little confused on where these quotes are coming from with the DJ that don't spin. So here we are. Shout out to CY Shells or Shells. They state Akademiks says he's talked to a lot of rappers that have told him Kendrick Lamar killed hip hop. He's made hip hop so lame right now where people are over analyzing it. That is the quote on this post.
Yo, I talked to some rappers, bro. Yo, listen, I'm gonna keep it a beam with you, bro. I talked to a few rappers, and obviously they're not woke rappers, they're not lyrical rappers. A bunch of them feel like Kendrick killed hip hop, bro. Like I'm just keeping a beam with.
That's the antithesis of hip hop.
And again, I'm going to say this. Well, if you're new to my channel, I am going to say this. It pisses me off when I hear folks talk about quote unquote woke and they use it in a totally different manner than what it was created for. And I have a very big disdain when I see Black folks in the diaspora use it the same way as the majority, the white folks that use it. Okay, because it is code word for them to mean Black. That's what it's code word for them. And so I have an issue with that. And I definitely have issues with folks that because all folks ain't skin folks. All skin folks ain't kin folks. And I have a big problem when I see Black men, Black women use it in the same manner as our Caucasian counterparts, but they use it to try to degrade or make us seem less than. And I got an issue with that. But let's continue.
Let's be clear. Before we even go further with your shit talk. And you don't have to be lyrical or woke or conscious in order to be hip hop or in order to have something to say in hip hop. But let's be clear. A lot of these motherfuckers that are on the other side of the fence that just make nonsensical stuff with good beats or hard beats or whatever, they were never meant to have a platform in this shit. Let's be clear about that. Yeah, there was always a place for fun and party records, but there was a standard to be nice on the mic, which is why before rappers ever had the opportunity to go in the studio, they had to battle on stage. But let me get off my soapbox.
And it's not a soapbox. Let's be clear.
I feel like
it's not a soapbox.
It's not even. I feel this.
It was always levels to it. Because even before, because like I said, people were selling their records with cassettes and out of their trunk and all of those different things. But before you got on wax and before you got put forth through a bigger audience, you had to prove the fact that you were lyrically sound. that had to be proven that you were lyrically sound. Nowadays, there is this, like, again, it's the machine. There's an image that you have to uphold. And I know people be like, "Oh, you're downing Drake." I'm just explaining to you how Drake has been accepted in the system because people didn't question some of the things that he was doing. Because I ask you, if I mention a certain section, a certain a region in the United States, if you are a hip hop fan, you can tell me what that sound is and what a hip hop artist embodies that sound, right? Because if I tell you the Bay Area, you could tell me possibly an E40. You could probably tell me a Too Short. If I say Georgia, Alabama, and Florida, Florida is a different sound between Georgia and Alabama and Mississippi. Florida, you'll probably rattle off several different hip hop artists in Florida. The Lukes, what is his name? The apple bottom jeans guy, Trick Daddy and them, T-Pain. You'd rattle that off. If I told you Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi, you may rattle off to me Outcast or whatever. If I say Virginia, the DMV, you're gonna rattle off artists from DMV. You're gonna rattle off I hate when I see people, but their names always escape me. Florida from down there in Florida and all them, Uncle Luke. You would do the happy guy, 'cause I'm happy. Pharrell, the Clips, all of them from the Virginia area. You would rattle that off to me. If I tell you Chicago, you will give me a Kanye West, a Common, all of those drill rappers and things like that are up there. That's who you would rattle off to me. Because there's a section of sound that comes from there. If I tell you LA Compton area, you'll do Dr. Dre, Kendrick, all of these people, Timberland and Magoo. Thank you, Frank. Thank you. Keep up with me, because names always. And thank you so much for watching. Names always escape me, but if I tell you a region, you're gonna tell me a different artist, hip hop artist from that region. If I tell you New York, you're gonna rattle off Cameron and Case and Mace and the Wu-Tang, all of those artists. And there is in each regionally, there is a sound, there is a whole different thing. But when we talk about Drake, and I ask you, Toronto, all we know is Drake. Is there a Toronto sound? What is it? We have seen him categorically take any rapper from his region and he will collab with them, sign with them, and then make sure that they are eradicated from the timeline. Because he wants to be not only the face, he wants to be the sound of Toronto. But his problem is that his version of Toronto sound is an amalgamation of all those Atlanta rappers down there. Kendrick put that out there. His sound is an amalgamation of Florida rappers. XXXTentacion. So we don't know what the true Toronto style is, because he is literally, it's not even gatekeeping. He is basically, and I know people are going to get mad when I say that, but he has high Hitlered that whole Toronto sound. We don't know what that thing is. And I would love to know. I mean, I would love to hear more hip hop artists that come out of Toronto. I love to hear hip hop artists that come from different segments, even of the world. You know, you've got hip hop artists that come out of London. I've listened to them, and their influence has been a lot of Caribbean and Afro beats and things like that. And the punch of their music has been like that. It's a wonderful thing to hear that. Because there's an authenticity of it. There's an authenticity with it. Drake doesn't bring in authenticity. So and DJ Akademiks, again, he's a gossip blogger. I need for y'all to understand and be very clear. The way that y'all sit around here and y'all go off on a shade room or a media takeout, or all of those types of blogs, the Jasmine brand, Gossip in the City, that is DJ Akademiks, but he does it with hip hop. Same concept, but he does it with hip hop. And I need y'all to understand that and to take that in. So now you've got this person who is a hip hop gossip rag, along with all of these other hip hop gossip rags, with your DJ Vlads. And let me take my glasses and look in real clear to the thing. A black man who is a hip hop artist, and y'all go on DJ Vlad's platform, if y'all go on Adam 22's platform, all they're doing is trying to get you, they're gossip rags. All they're trying to do is to get you to talk about if you have or if you don't any criminal activity that you're doing, because for them, that's what hip hop is: criminal activity. And if you take your black behinds over there on there, you get what you get. You get what you get. And you can't be hollering and screaming and riling to the community to come assist you because you walked your black behinds over there on those platforms. They are making millions of dollars off you sitting up there because you think that they are enjoying it. No, they're exploiting your culture. And they're exploiting that subgenre of your culture so they can make millions and millions of dollars off it. But then what do you get? A doggone RICO case. Where is Tekashi 6ix9ine? And you all allow too many people into your space that you all have created, and they bastardize it. Where is Tekashi 6ix9ine? Better yet, where are all the people that Tekashi 6ix9ine collaborated with and used to be able to further his hip hop career? Where is Tekashi right now? But y'all got problems with the Kendrick? Let's continue.
This is what they told me. Yo, bro,
That's what
you made hip hop so lame where it's like niggas is just over analyzing shit. Like this is about to be like battle rap again. Like the whole genre is battle rap. And I ain't gonna lie, most of the niggas who told me that, some of them are street niggas and some of them just make regular music. Like they feel like it's harder to get attention doing what they did because Kendrick just turned the shit into a Me Too movement. You feel what I'm saying?
A Me Too movement.
See how he doesn't even make any sense? Because what again, you're talking about the industry put out type of rapper. Because what has happened is Kendrick has ignited. You can like Kendrick, you can dislike Kendrick. It doesn't really matter. But what has happened, and I said this earlier, people are starting to understand and to stop listening to those industry created rappers that come out and say that hip hop is for young people. Now, what Kendrick has done is that he has reignited all of your hip hop faves to get out here and to rap about their current situations. So you got the LLs that are coming out. You got the Method Mans and the Red Mans that are coming out and they're rapping about their situation. People are now asking Andre 3000, hey, you need to come out. He's like, well, I don't know if I have anything to say. I'm in my 40s. Yes, you do. The Nas's of the world. All of these people, the Cam'rons, the Dipsets, all you all have something to say. You all are older, but hey, you need to hear this. We need to hear how you all are juggling the fact that you got kids or you're married and you're working and doing all this other stuff. How you're much older, how you're wiser, how you thought when you were 20 is not how you think when you're 40. How you're matriculating through life at 40 is different how you matriculated through 20. At 20, you were worried about the bitches and hoes. At 40, you're worried about the carpool lane. You don't think the mamas and daddies don't want to listen to that as they sitting in the carpool lane? Kendrick reignited that. Now we're understanding that hip hop music is not just for the young. And also, the older people are the ones that have money to spend on hip hop. People are going to Nas's concerts. People will go see a Jay-Z. The old school rappers would come together like Voltron and have a hip hop themed concert festival, they would get a lot of people out here. You've got, again, I'm understanding the economy. Don't mishear me. I'm understanding how the economy is running right now. People don't have a lot of disposable money. However, just like the ladies are out here buying these Beyonce tickets, you don't think the men wouldn't buy a hip hop a record? And ladies, you can get your man to go to the hip hop thing, and they can get out there and they can have a good old time. There is a market for those people. And for someone like DJ Akademiks, who is a gossip blogger, who has been who has kissed the ring and has been blessed as an arbitrator for hip hop, for him to talk like this.
No, I'm not going over that.
Nah. It's harder, and whoever is having private conversations with this clown motherfucker behind the scenes is already in a bad space. But remove that or keep that on the table. Fuck it. But if you feel like you can't get attention,
sorry, y'all,
now because your crack rock ain't hitting as hard as it used to, don't get mad at Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar been here the whole time. Kendrick Lamar been out here dropping since 2009, been on since 2012. This nigga got 13 years of being a leader in the space. So when y'all was out here putting out bullshit, he was still here being dominant, still overshadowing y'all records. Y'all knew not to drop no time near that nigga. You know what I'm saying? This is the same nigga that when he dropped Good Kid, Mad City, the entire black Twitter was out here live listening to the album, putting this nigga's quotes in the fucking tweets.
And again, that is how you engage hip hop. Because it makes you think about it. You don't have to agree with everything that Kendrick puts out. You don't have to agree with your favorite hip hop artists about things, but it makes you sit down and make you think. Again, this is why I say when people are talking about hip hop is for the young, y'all are missing a whole generation. There's a whole bunch of 30, 40, and 50 years old that have grown up on hip hop, that enjoy a Kendrick Lamar, because it makes you think outside of this Drake, this beef he had with Drake. Outside of that it reignited you to listen to that. But it also reignited us to listen to, hey, LL Cool J just put out a new thing. He's 50-something year old. He's not rapping about I need love or anything like that, like he did when he was 16, 17 years old. He's rapping about something totally different. He's lyrically sound. But these folks, I can't put an album out because people weren't really listening. By the time, the way streaming works, as I understand it, a lot of young people are into just singles. They're not listening to an album experience. And that's what older people bring to the table. We want a whole album experience. We want to be able to listen to that first track to the end of that last track and then make the decision on how we feel about that whole album. But again, I do understand Gen Zers, their attention span is different. And they like to listen to snippets of stuff. Because even when you look at the song arrangements, when I was coming up, you had a verse, a chorus, a bridge, the chorus, and then you had the outro part of the thing. And I may not be saying the right things, but songs lasted 4 to 5 minutes. I'm hearing songs now, great songs, but they need to be longer. But it's like they just end. There's no bridge. So I understand that the way that you all consume music is different. But let's not discount the fact that you have older people that listen to hip hop too. They can't get their songs out because they know that their songs are crap. Because now they understand that the people that have the buying power for the music is asking them to step their damn game up.
Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe blew up off of black Twitter. So let's not act like he just had his moment for the first time and just shifted the game. What did that nigga do with Control? What did that nigga do? It's been numerous occasions where this nigga has come out and shifted shit and made niggas have to step their shit up. And if you're not an artist that actually relies on lyrical content or vivid subject matter, then why are you even concerned with what Kendrick Lamar has going on? Because your audience, honestly, shouldn't be worried about what he has going on. If you're one of the Lils, because who could be out here possibly complaining about Kendrick? Sure ain't Future. Future's been more successful last year after collabing with Kendrick than he ever been. That nigga broke records last year for having 3 #1 albums in the same year.
Interesting, because mostly about Future, it was always about his love life and which woman he was tricking on and stuff like that. You hear what he said, that last year he got a lot of critical acclaim for his music than for what was going on within his life.
Can't be him. You mean to tell me you spoke with Lil Baby? I don't think y'all even get along. You mean to tell me you spoke to who? Young Thug? I don't think Slime want to talk to you. So who are you talking about that's credible in this space that would have a feeling about what Kendrick Lamar is doing? Anyway, let's get to Chilling with Moni. So Chilling with Moni,
Please follow her as well. She's
goes
real
on
good.
her Twitter, and I think this also shows up on her YouTube page if you go check it out. She says, according to DJ Akademiks, Kendrick Lamar killed hip-hop, and other rappers are scared to release new music, and to that I say good. So here is her issuing a response to the DJ that don't spin and these non-creative rappers.
Ice Spice and fucking Jack Harlow were the top two people for hip hop in 2023. Jack Harlow had the first #1 of 2024 until Megan Thee Stallion put her pen to pad and said, "Nigga, let's rap." She was the last female rapper to go #1 and got the second #1 for hip hop. And my thing is, as the alleged face of hip hop, he isn't. So don't take that serious coming out of my mouth. For you academics who allow other rappers to say to you, hip hop is lame right now, when it's seen a drastic decline in 2024 after being in the pits of hell, that says a lot about you as a journalist. And it only further proves that just like the mumbling ass rapper.
Who you see how she said journalist? Again, I told you, he is a gossip blogger. Put him in his place. He's a gossip blogger.
You don't care about the art form. You just care about the negativity and the bullshit that comes with it. 2024 single-handedly will go down as the year that saved hip-hop from going into a space of destruction, a space of unknown for the genre that was losing its value and its respect. Like, people literally forgot that hip-hop at one point was literally a walking fucking stimulus package. Hip hop used to dominate the charts. Everybody wanted a feature from a rapper in the early 2000s, 2010s.
Everybody. And that's how, in my opinion, how we have lost R&B. Because in the early 2000s, every R&B artist needed a hip hop feature or a hip hop artist to do the hook or do a chorus on their songs. To the point that now R&B is in a state of crises. Excuse me. R&B is in a state of crisis. I mean, let's just be real clear about it. Let's be real clear about it.
So if Kendrick Lamar killed hip hop and you mumbling ass niggas are scared to drop, I personally want to say thank you, Kendrick Lamar. Thank you, Doechii. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Future. Future dropped 3 tapes. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Schoolboy Q. Say thank you, Glorilla.
All successful
Thank you,
projects.
Rhapsody. Thank you, Common and Pete Rock. Thank you, Vince Staples, etc., whoever dropped last year. Shout out to y'all for deciding to take rap back and reclaim it from these corny ass, no bars having, beat riding ass losers. We are in the era of pushing talent and real lyrics. Let's make all these niggas uncomfortable. I love it. It makes my heart flutter that academics, you have to sit in that funky ass chair and report to us that other rappers are crying to you because they're scared to drop because nobody wants to buy that bullshit.
I'm gonna keep it a beam with you, bro. I talked to a few rappers.
We're not finna listen.
And listen, and here's the thing. And if you do, they're also scared about the fact that they've got to go out here and tour. Now, have you ever watched a rap artist probably in the past 10 years, they're touring? Their tours don't get much engagement. And I'm just putting it out here because who was that was out there on stage? I can't remember if it was like a Waka Flocka, but anyway, they were on. It's here on YouTube. Y'all can pull it up. Just pull up your favorite rapper in the past 10 years, and they were out here on stage. And when I talk about their stage presence was piss poor, they had everybody from their neighborhood up on stage to the point that you couldn't pay attention to what was going on. You couldn't pay attention to the rapper because they had 11 people on the stage soaking up all of the energy that they were getting from the crowd. And the crowd was so confused about who they needed to be focused on. They never bought a second ticket. But again, yet you look at the women who are rapping out here, they have stage productions. Go to the Glorilla concert. Shout out to Glorilla, because she had some people out there acting a complete fool at her concert and she shut it down. But check out the Glorillas. Check out the Meg Thee Stallions. Check out the Nicki Minaj's. Check out the Doechis. Check out the what's that girl's name? Oh, didn't want to know you. Whatever her name is. Doja Cat, excuse me. Doja Cat. Check out their concerts. They have complete, even the Young MAs and all of, they have great shows because they're not just standing up there just rapping. They're dancing, they're doing all these things, they're entertaining you. But these young rappers, they get up on stage and they think just because they're standing there, they don't have any breath control, they don't have any of those things. So yeah, you got to compete with Kendrick, because if you watch that Super Bowl halftime show, did y'all check out the breath control that man had? That requires artist development. He was going from them X's and O's and triangles and all this other squares. He was running around that stage, and the breath control that he had. But you go to a rap concert, they don't rehearse, they don't do anything. They just think that if they walk up on stage and have their boys up there, that's a great concert. Kendrick is making y'all step y'all game up.
To the DJ that don't spin again, but I stand by her entire statement. I co-sign it, and I have no pushback on anything she had to say there. Fucking accurate. You know what I'm saying? Why is and I'm pretty sure it's niggas. You know what I'm saying? Lame ass, non-rapping ass niggas that he spoke to, because who else would want to communicate with him?
Remember, he's a gossip
Because
blogger.
even the ladies had one of the illest years last year. You know what I'm saying? Despite how you want to slice it, some of the critiques, whatever the case may be, the ladies had shit jumping last year. I'm waiting for them to get shit back jumping this year. You know what I'm saying? So we can get back to that conversation, because I'm a little bit underwhelmed with what some of is coming out from that side of the game. You know what I'm saying? At this current point. But I'm ready for the headliners to come start dropping some big guns too. I'm waiting on Megan to come with Act 3. I'm waiting on Glow to come with the next project. I'm waiting on Cardi to come with her shit. You can say what you want about Cardi. I'm waiting on Lotto to step back out and at least give us a single or two this year, or some key features. You know what I'm saying? There's talk about Doja coming out. She's playing snippets and stuff like that where she's gonna do her shit. We got Doechii saying her debut album is on the way. Like, we need that. Like, yeah, I'm waiting on that shit, man.
It's the creativity and the diversity.
So
it's the creativity and the diversity, and I think that is a good thing. And I think we won't be listening to any more of his thing. Go check out Jay Nolan. We're not going to listen to his whole situation, but y'all go check out his YouTube page, and y'all check out Chilling with Moni, her YouTube page as well. Because again, if our favorite gossip blogger, DJ Akademiks, is talking this, you best believe that his mumble rappers, his mediocre rapper friends, and all of them, they're scared to come out because they know that they can't compete. And if those people are scared to come out and they can't compete, he's not making any money talking about the stuff that's going on with them. Because I don't know if you remember or not, because you remember what was it, maybe 5 years ago, every time you heard about a rapper, you heard about his girlfriend or his wife, and she dominated the headlines more than the rapper did. Again, and DJ Akademiks covered that. Because why? DJ Akademiks is a gossip blogger. DJ Akademiks, if he wants to have, he's going to have to come out and he's going to have to talk like he is somebody, a good connoisseur of rap music. He's not. He is a connoisseur of the gossip around rap music. And if he can't talk about these mediocre mumble rappers, these pruning from the timeline rappers, and their exploits and pruning from the timeline thing, along with DJ Vlad, along with Adam 22, if they can't talk about that, they can't make any money. They don't have a show. Because again, they're not the connoisseurs or the experts of hip hop. They are the connoisseurs and the expert of hip hop mess, not the lyrical content. Go to their shows. They don't talk about lyrical content. They don't talk about where an artist is going to be when they're touring or anything like that. They don't have inside information. When they talk to rappers or anything like that, they talk to the boozies of the world. They talk to people who talk about rap music. They don't have the insight that you think that they have. So I'll conclude on this. I think it's a wonderful, Kendrick did not ruin hip hop. Kendrick has exposed the mediocre, the lowballing rappers who don't have enough lyrical content to compete, because their formula, A squared plus B squared equals C squared, and how they put music out in this industry is no longer working for them. Their mediocrity is not giving them the excelling and giving them excellence anymore. They're having to push their game up, and they don't know how to do that, or they don't want to do that. So they'll get out here and use the mouthpiece of a DJ Akademiks to get out here. Oh, they did. Kendrick Lamar ruined rap music. You're gonna have to put your big boy panties on. Your big boy drawers, excuse me. Exactly. About time. And again, and I will say this for those of you all in my age group, if you are a Gen Xer, if you are a millennial, if you are a Gen Zer, y'all need to support these rappers that are coming back out here. The LL Cool J's, and again, I don't know all of the people, because after Lil Wayne, I have not paid attention to a lot of folk. But all of those folks that are lyrically sound, that are authentic, support them. And stop pushing your supporter behind a DJ Akademiks, and stop putting your support about those rappers that get out here and they want to forsake the genre for their own personal needs. The Kanyes of the world, the Drakes of the world. They'd rather burn the damn shit down than to allow other people. That's the way I feel about Kanye. I can care less about all his rants and raves about his ex-wife and all that, because he chose that woman. All of his exes, he chose those women. And if they're putting him through the ringer, he chose those women. But I got an issue and a problem with him when he uses his antics wearing a custom-made black Ku Klux Klan outfit to an interview. I have an issue and problem of what that says to the world. Because see, he wants to be seen. He wants to be the quote unquote God. Little man, he's pissed off because his career didn't follow the trajectory, or his career didn't give him the love and the attention and the admiration and the respect that a Kendrick Lamar had. His career didn't give him the carte blanche acceptance that a Drake had. So he's pissed off at that. And so he'd rather get out here and act like a shell of a black man than to stand in his shit and be a man. I can't respect the Drakes of the world that have rode high on mimicking people's style, acting like a parrot, mimicking people's style. And when he gets to you like a succubus and latches on to you and makes these artists, you know, oh, I'm gonna make you big. We're gonna get together. We're gonna do all of that. And then before you know it, he is like a vampire. He has stolen their style. He has sucked the lifeblood out of their authenticity, and he wants to come out here and present like he is that person. You can't respect that. Because those of us in the Black American community, we value authenticity over anything. You got to be a person that we can believe that you say what you mean and you mean what you say and you stand firm in the words that you speak. And as my brothers and sisters from New York would say, that your word is bond. Who you are permeates everything. From your style of dress, from the way that you speak, from the lyrics that you spit. So if those mumble rappers are talking to DJ Akademiks, that's because the jig is up. Their mediocrity is no longer acceptable. They can't stand out here in skinny jeans and a long shirt with dreads and move a populace. You won't be able to do that anymore. Child. Child. What do y'all think about this? Y'all hit y'all. And again, I'm looking at my screen and I see 73 people in here. Wherever you are watching, hit that like button, hit that heart button, hit that wallet, whatever it is, wherever you are watching. I do appreciate you being in here as I go over this rant. Y'all follow Jay Nolan. Y'all follow Chilling with Moni. They are currently people who follow hip hop, who enjoy hip hop, who will report the news about hip hop, not just the gossip about hip hop like your DJ Akademiks of the world. Follow those channels. I'll put the link in my description bar below once I finish this this live. Y'all, please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you cannot stand that I'm over here making these videos, okay? And as always, people, bye-bye.